yeah.
Here I fuck now.
In the time I disappear. That was from
Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible, huh?
I have that soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
On CD.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Didn't they also have like Limp Bizkit on that soundtrack?
They did. It was track 1 was Limp Bizkit because it was Take a Look Around by Limp Bizkit.
And that's the one that I don't know what it was, or something. Oh, now I know why you want to hate me. Cause say it's all for the and they sample the Mission Impossible thing. Huh?
Yeah. Ding, 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 ding,
Hey,
ding,
I'm gonna go on record since this is being recorded. I fucks with Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, wait, did you listen to the new record?
I did listen to like 2 or 3 tracks. Those fucking riffs by Wes Borland are fucking insane.
Yeah.
And then like, cause I love seeing like tutorials of how to play riffs and like people doing covers of songs. Cause I see it and I'm like, fuck, I wish I can play that to that level.
I feel like the bass lines in Limp Bizkit are kind of intricate.
They're kind of underrated.
Yeah, definitely.
Underrated. There's this other podcast called the POD cast or something like that.
That's funny. The POD. Is it the band?
No. So it's some dudes from they're 2 different podcasts and they do a new metal. I kind of talked to you, but they do a new metal podcast. And what they do is like each month they pick one quote unquote new metal like album and they kind of like review it and say what the pop culture was around the area. And they did one on the number 1 was the Significant Other. They're saying like this is maybe like the most important new metal album because it's the one that really broke the genre.
Yeah,
with like
I mean, I
Nuki
think
and shit.
I feel like that and like I feel like Korn kind of broke.
Would follow
Korn
the leader too.
Yeah, exactly. Korn and that. Because
Then, like,
you're
Linkin
right
Park.
though. Because Linkin Park for sure. But Linkin Park was already kind of like 3 or 4 years after.
Yeah,
Limp Bizkit was already like on top of the world. Like what 99 they did. Remember they did the New Year's thing.
Oh, I fucking love that.
Woodstock
dude.
99.
Yeah, and Nuki was already.
Yeah, I think because that came out in 97.
Yeah, because Follow the Leader
98,
came out like a 98, 97, and then Dookie. But yeah, even though I think Korn Follow the Leader kind of like was special with like Got the Life and shit. I think that kind of put music on the radar, but I think Limp Bizkit made it more accessible. It made it more,
because it wasn't
more tailored to the general public.
The image helped.
Yeah, that's true.
It was less about being scary and more about being like all athletic wear,
Kind of angry,
almost pretty much the same as rap hip hop attire.
Yeah, absolutely
from the same era, like. Not very different from what like G Unit or like that kind of
like that era with like
baggy ass clothes.
Yeah, like Fat Farm and like
puffy ass jackets.
Puffy, yeah, or like Sean and shit like that. But
you mean literal puffy?
Yeah, they're P Diddy.
You mean trademark puffy?
Yes. But they were saying they were making this thing where they said that the reason Limp Bizkit is so interesting is because Fred Durst, he's a mediocre singer, lyricist.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But like Wes Borland's an amazing guitar player.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but the bass player is fucking amazing. Drummer Otto, whatever, is fucking amazing. Mm-hmm. DJ Lethal, historically also a very successful musician. So he's just surrounded himself with a very successful group.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, the only thing you really remember about Limp Bizkit is like how fucking dope that song is because of the musically. Yeah. Lyrics is like, I'm not going to sing along to
not
this
always the
shit.
best. Yeah, I agree. He's kind of he's not your, to tie it into the jersey, he's not Joe Montana. He's more like a Trent Dilfer.
Yeah.
He's a game manager that'll get you through the Super Bowl. But it's because everyone else is so good.
Yeah.
He's just doing enough.
Yes.
Whereas, like, he's not like the guy who's going to take the team and put him on his back. Like,
Yeah.
He's holding up his end of the table, but he ain't holding the whole table.
He's not fucking, what's his face? Tom Brady.
Uncle Rico?
He's not Tom Brady carrying the freaking Bucks.
Yeah, he's
to
not
Super Bowl.
Tom Brady. He's more like...
who's a mediocre?
More like Carol Brady. That's stupid. It took too long.
I'll take it. Anyways, Limp Bizkit. How are you doing today, bro?
Pretty good. I think I'm going to start a Limp Bizkit cover band called Carol Brady.
Carol Brady.
No.
No one understands the reference.
It doesn't make sense. There is no understanding. I'm doing good. I didn't know if we were going to start. Here, move a little closer to me. I'm looking at the frame here.
Okay,
That's
there you
better.
go.
There we go.
Okay,
A little cozier.
Hey.
Kind of got a nice matchup thing going on. We got red and purple and white. It looks good.
Yeah, it looks good.
We're contrasting.
I like it. I'm looking straight at the camera also because, damn, we look good.
We do. We look clean. We look happy. We look nourished. I'm nourished. I
like that. I like
All right,
that.
now I guess we can start now.
I thought we were.
Oh, we were already rolling? I
Yeah.
guess, why not? Let's just make it organic. This is a conversation. This is what we're doing. We're somewhat catching up. We didn't even do the question, though. That's why I was like, should we open up, then do the question?
Let's do the question. So, just because we hyped it up already. So,
Yeah.
let me. But I saw what the question was, so we're going to pick a different number, unfortunately. But
no, that's fine.
So, for today, for
That wasn't a good
our
question,
for icebreaker, it got too real. Here, let me show you what it was. 769.
I'm going to read it. No, I won't read it.
We talked about that.
Yeah. You're like, all right, we already did that.
Yeah, we did that. Anyways.
Too relevant.
Wow. No, for any of the listeners out there, as you all know, I am a teacher, and our staff or our leadership team or administration shared this book with 1,001 questions, and it was a great way to ice break. So if you ever want like a copy of this or want to check it out, just reach out to us, reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to send you a copy of it digitally, of course, because digital.
Living in the
we are living in the digital
edge
world.
of tomorrow.
Yeah. So it's cool because there's different categories for different types of question. You just tell a person, hey, give me a number between 1 and 1,001, and then the question it's the question. So Coop, let's give it a try. Why don't you give me a number between 1 and 1,001?
How about why not 669?
669. All right, scrolling up. And the reason we're sticking with the 69 is because this is the 69th episode.
And it's my favorite sexual position.
There you go. 669.
Can't go wrong.
What do you hope to discover beyond the grave?
Wow.
Shit, that got real.
Hopefully not a 69.
What do you hope to discover beyond the grave?
Oh, what do I hope to discover beyond the grave? I don't even know what the fuck that means, Danny. That is so vaguely painting a picture in my head.
Listen, we're just gonna go with the
No,
next.
I'm not mocking you.
Uh-huh.
But let's figure. No. We're sticking with this.
Okay,
we're gonna make this work. It's commitment. What the fuck? Okay, so I'm gonna answer how I feel like beyond the grave means, because what do I hope to discover beyond the grave? So that means, what do I hope to discover when I die?
Yeah.
Okay. It just sounds so funny. Like I'm gonna die through the dirt. Like beyond the grave.
There's the fucking
when I rise
passage.
through the dirt.
It's a fucking door to like the secret garden.
What do I hope to discover? What do I hope to discover when I die? When I die, I hope that we do go to this oasis that isn't necessarily like an oasis or an island or a paradise. I want it to be tailored to the individual. I hope when we go, we get this thing that's it's going to sound depressing because we already know about it.
Yeah.
So it's basically going to be a subconscious heaven for us. And that sounds so unattractive when I put it that way. But basically what I'm hoping for is I get the pretty awesome, surreal. I get to go hang out with people that I wouldn't have seen in my regular human life.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe go talk to a bear.
Yeah. Basically,
jump on a horse.
When you say that, it reminds me of Happy Gilmore's Happy Place.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I have a very childish, euphoric image of what heaven would be.
Yeah.
It would be silly. It would be fun, silly. But I don't know if I'd want everyone there. And does that make me a bad person?
Well, no. Well, here's the thing, though, because it's catered to you. And because I love your answer, I'm actually going to steal that answer, too. What I want to discover is also, like, that there's peace. Like, I want us to have peace and just be restful, whatever it is, whatever my soul, whatever goes. So I like the idea of, like, this like utopian society that's catered to your likings and people you love and shit. But since it's all in your imagination, it doesn't necessarily mean is that person's spirit.
Right.
Is that
it's just
person's
your
spirit
psyche.
how you remember that. It's a copy.
It's your brain.
Yeah, it's your brain. Remember that.
I know. And see, and that's just like part of me. But then you're not alive anymore. So are we going to be as consciously aware?
Fuck, I don't know.
Or are we just going to be all blissfully into it? Because that's the thing. Our soul's going to change when we die.
Yeah.
Right? Our soul is made up of what we're living in our body as well right now. So I don't know spiritually if I'm going to be the same person. Hopefully I'm better. May not be. No, I'm kidding. But I could see myself being a mischievous spirit though. Like if I don't get sent to heaven and I'm stuck in the middle, I'd definitely be fucking with people.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think what I want, like you said, it's peace. And man, isn't it funny how cocky we are with like our idea of heaven? Like as if like, how much money do you have to spend in like human life to like get treated like a sultan or like have any kind of vacation tailored to you, like the thousands of dollars and time it takes to get that. But we're assuming that each individual gets that when we die. Like, holy shit, we're fucking that important.
We're so materialistic, dude.
But it's crazy because that's the part of me that thinks like enjoy your life.
Yeah.
Because what if you don't get that like unicorn to ride off in the sunset? What if that is it? So
yeah,
it just Debbie Downer, but
no, but it's true. You cannot depend. Here's the thing: everybody's always talking about you have to think about the future. You have to move up and like think about the future, and you always want like your next quote unquote goal.
Right.
But how do you know if you're not really living in that goal, or you're really living your goal or your future or something? So yeah, in a way, you do have to plan for the future, just because there's always going to be bumps in the future.
Yeah.
But you need to enjoy the now.
Live in the present.
Yeah, you have to live in the present also with conscience and within moderation.
Yeah. But and that's like I had that epiphany the other like a few drunken nights. I've been drinking the old beer again, and no, I've been like emotional at times because I was just thinking like sometimes I'm so like, oh, I wish I had things, or why am I not doing this with my life? And then I think, man, in 10 years I'm going to be looking back with those were the golden years. Those were the years I enjoyed doing things, and I was trying all these things and learning, and it wasn't all about like corporate crap or materials. It was more about just the sport, and so then sometimes I need that perspective to tell me like stop being a little bitch and enjoy yourself, enjoy life, enjoy the fact that you're complaining about something that if you told someone else they might think you're stupid, and if that's the case then maybe it is stupid, and maybe you're just thinking about something too much, and that happens all the time. Like, I got to remind myself to get out of this stupid rut, stop comparing myself to people. That's what we do, man.
Unfortunately,
all we do is compare ourselves to other people. Like, even if it's positive, we're comparing ourselves to Gandhi. We're comparing ourselves to Gary Vee. We're comparing ourselves to Tom Brady or Serena Williams or Vanessa Williams. No, I'm kidding.
The less favorite Williams sister.
Well, no, she's the singer.
Oh,
but I mean,
Venus. Oh, Venus.
No, I said Vanessa though. I didn't say Venus.
Okay,
you were half listening, but it's okay. She might be a sister.
I heard Williams. I'm like, oh yeah, that's look at me being all stereotypical. Oh, you must be the same last name. Oh,
no, she's also black. You're good.
But no, I think I absolutely agree with you, dude. Like we as a society like to compare ourselves, and especially with the power of like social media and shit.
And Christ.
Yeah. No, we definitely power of Christ. It only compels you, bro. With social media and shit, it always like people only like to post the good things,
Yeah, and it's kind of gloaty sometimes.
Yeah, and I'm guilty of that too. I'm not gonna put fucking a picture of me in my social media when I'm fucking stressed out. Or
dude, I want to do that now. Like if I'm having a bad day, I'll be like, "Hey, Steph, take a picture of me with my head and my shoulders in the corner."
Yeah,
like how lame is that?
It's lame, but you know what? I think we need to be more because, like, okay, if you look at I always used to post like, oh, I'm, or checking in like in different places, and this one person always told me like, oh man, you always travel so much, blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, but I also work hella hard, but no one wants to see, no one wants to float, wants to show off how much you're working.
Yeah.
So I think also as listeners, and something as a friend also I'm telling you, and something that took me a while to think about is, or to realize is, people are only posting the good things because that's what we like to brag about and that's what we like to remember. But you also need to understand that it's fake. In order for you to get to that good place, to get to that happy place, you have to go through the shit first.
Yeah.
And that's the part that nobody wants to talk about. And I think if people were more real and more straightforward about posting the shit or acknowledging the shit, I feel like people will be more connected and be like, hey, my life is not my life isn't as bad as I thought this, compared to this person. But yeah, most importantly, we need to stop comparing ourselves to others, because we're us, dude, and we can only be us. We cannot be anybody else.
Yeah, like set goals, but
yeah,
I do this too. Obviously, I'm talking about it because it's a problem I have. I like associate myself with people I look up to, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's people I've met before or it's people I haven't met. Like, it's regardless. It's like success is success, and you have people you look up to.
Mm-hmm.
And I look up to people, and I think I subconsciously expect what they get.
Mm-hmm.
Not on the same level, but just on a level of like, well, if it worked for them, why isn't it working for me? Which is psychotic because I'm not them and I'm not going through what they went through.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get the same outcome, and it's not going to be the same journey, and I can't expect the same things.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that is the same is consistency and hard work. And the one thing I did read, because sometimes social media is like a little insightful, believe it or not. But there was a Jeff Bezos. I don't even know if it's something he said. I just appreciated it.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's real. It's like the news. I'm just like, it's informative, right?
Yeah.
It makes me feel like I'm reading. So it was Jeff Bezos' picture.
Is this when he was in Miami or before Miami?
Well, I don't even know if it's a quote. It's one of those stupid things where it shows him at a desk from like 94.
Yeah.
Where he has like an Amazon tapestry that looks like it's a piece of shit. And it was when it was, remember when Amazon started as a used bookstore online? So it said like, keep hustling, because you'll be scrounging to make ends meet. And then 5 years later, you'll be cashing like $1 million checks. And it literally was like, I think from like year 2004 to like 2009, how much Amazon like changed.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, that's a really cool, it's like totally fishbowl, like, oh, here's my dream, pipe dream kind of, but it is insightful and cool. It's kind of like a Mark Cuban story. It's like, there are people that can, but it's like you had to meet and network with so many successful people to get where he got. But still, the fact that you started as a used book seller and became one of the biggest logistics companies in the world.
Yeah.
That's pretty insane. So, like, whether you like the guy or not, it's pretty impressive what he's done. And I took that meme with some heart. I was like, that's cool. Basically, the way it's internalized it was, there's days and there's nights where I'm like, man, I wish my projects or whatever I'm doing was seeing more. Like, I'm getting more out of it, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is like I'm putting my time in. Like I can't expect a return. Like
right away.
No, like I'm planting seeds, man, and I'm expecting a crop. You gotta nurture it. You gotta give it time.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta kiss the soil. You
gotta talk to it.
You gotta talk to it.
No, I think that's a good segue to the next part. But yeah, that's an interesting thing because when I used to teach economics, I always had my students do like a stock market kind of like project, or like just keep track on the stock market and stuff like that. And the cool thing about like looking up on stocks like on Google and shit, since it's public, you have all this information from like 10, 20 years ago. So like right now a stock, I haven't checked Amazon stock lately, but somewhere around the $800, $900 per share. And yeah, I look up like 2003, 2004 when I first heard about like Amazon, and they were like $1, 50 cents a fucking share.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, if I would have known back then what I know now, like I would have been fucking killing it,
Definitely.
But yeah, I feel like you can't change the past. You can only work on the future. But you have to put the hustle. You have to put the effort. You cannot expect that, you're gonna get everything and you're gonna get everything right away. It makes it seem like you work hard, you get you get your work, you get a reward right away. But you have to be, something I have learned is you have to be patient. You have to like accept the process. And if you tried and you gave your 100%, your true, honest try, and you fail, at least you failed knowing that you tried, and not as like, oh, what if I would have done that? What if I would have waited or something? And I think,
right.
And we're all afraid of failure. Everybody's afraid of failure. So if you fail, doesn't mean that you suck or anything. It just means that it didn't work out. Move on to keep on, loser. But keep on trying, dude, and move on.
Pick yourself up and try again.
Yeah, who
was
that? Leah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't sing.
We know though.
We all
know. All right.
Well, that felt good, and that wrapped up after Beyond the Grave.
Yeah,
with,
and if
Coop and Danny.
Yeah, and if you ever again, send us a number between 1 and 1,001. That'd be cool if we get like some.
Oh yeah, and then we could sing you some questions.
Yeah.
Why not? This is give and take.
Yeah.
That's right.
Good times.
Good times. Today's subject. But before we get into the subject, I just want to say the San Francisco 49ers are playing a wild card playoff game today against the Dallas Cowboys, and I had to wear my Montana jersey thanks to Mike, courtesy of Mike. Thanks, Mike.
You're a good man, Mike.
This is a big deal. A lot of people are like, they don't even know what this shit is that I'm talking about. Look, when we were growing up, it was all Cowboys, and Niners.
Yeah.
A little bit of the Bills, right? Which, by the way, Bills whooped the Patriots' ass. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome. I'm spending a very short amount of time on football, but I'm pumped. Go Niners. I just want to shout that out. Hopefully, when this comes out on Monday, it's celebrating a win. And if not, I did my part.
Hey, in Raider Nation.
Oh, yeah. Hearts go out to you guys.
I'm sorry, dudes. We'll try next year. But you know what? We had a success. I'm a fucking part of the team. Raider Nation had a successful, in my point of view, Raider Nation had a successful.
Yeah, considering what they went through.
With all the freaking losing coach, freaking
star receiver,
all this, with all the bullshit, it worked out. So we can't even say anything. Pick it up. Try again next year.
Yep, Derek Carr will be off the team and you'll have a different head coach. It'll be interesting. I am not a Raider hater at all, but I really hope that man goes to another team and shines, because he has spent 8 long years in Oakland and now Las Vegas, and it hasn't done shit for the guy.
Yeah.
Like, I watched the game yesterday and I was pissed. I was like, he was making plays. He was throwing the ball perfectly to their guys. Waller, they were dropping him.
Yeah.
And that pisses me off. I'm like, you're in a playoff game, and the only people that aren't showing up are the fucking people on offense. They're supposed to be catching the ball. Your quarterback is throwing dimes. He is throwing them right to you, right at your chest, perfectly placed. They're dropping them. They just were. They were not. Cincinnati was so ready. And you know what it is? I'm not blaming Derek Carr. I'm really not. He did more leadership for that team than probably any quarterback has done all year or for a long time because of what happened. But the way Joe Burrow gets people going, like the way he won the fucking College Bowl game, and he's just a guy. He inspires winning, which is what that city needs. It's what everyone wants as a leader and a quarterback.
Yeah.
But it's just, he is a fucking insane athlete. Like,
yeah.
They just have, like, if Oakland had Ruggs,
Las
they
Vegas.
didn't even need.
Las Vegas.
Yeah, whatever. No Raider fans mad at me for it. But I think the Ruggs loss was bigger than the Gruden loss. I think a head coach is really important, but you have enough chemistry and talent on that team where they could have made things work like they did.
Yeah.
And them losing their star receiver is rough. I think so. They're definitely going to probably address that. But then I agree. Them making the playoffs, awesome. I just was heartbroken a little for them because I just was bummed. You know,
Yeah.
I wanted their offensive line to be better too, but it's okay.
We'll get them next year.
It happens. But yeah, go Niners.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens. But this week we're gonna be doing. I'm calling it table for our dinner. I'm gonna call it dinner for five.
Oh, I like that.
There was a show with so unprofessional. There was a show on HBO a while ago, or maybe it was Showtime, with Jon Favreau, and he would interview actors, and it was called Dinner for Five, and they would eat spaghetti and drink wine and just talk about the movies they made and how it was growing up.
Was it like similar to Jerry Seinfeld's Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee?
Exactly. Kind of the same layout, but this was like early 2000s.
Oh, nice.
James Gandolfini, I think, was on an episode. I mean, this is old. This is Favreau before he kind of broke out as a director.
Yeah.
Like, he was already a director with, like, Swingers and Made and stuff, but he wasn't doing, like, the Disneys and the Iron Mans yet. So he was a name in Hollywood, but he wasn't a household name like he is now.
Yeah.
Great show. Kind of gave me an idea, but the premise of the show is it's going to be pick your five people you're going to have dinner with. Before we get to dinner for five, our little aperitif, you could say, would be the three things you wish you had done differently in life.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be from last week, but it could just be overall.
Yeah.
I think honestly I could have been. I found, to give you some backstory, I'm just gonna say what it is and I'll explain why.
Mm-hmm.
I said even through the teen year, even though the teen years were hard, I wish I could have been a better brother to my sister. I found a bunch of videos from like my teen years of, you know, when we were growing up, and it captured like the realism of what was going on at the time, when you watch it as you're older, you have a different take on it. And it was just like, man, you know, like my memory of how things were and how things weren't always the same. And sometimes I would notice in like the video, I'm like, man, I was trying so hard to be cool and just the classic older sibling that doesn't want to deal with the younger sibling situation. But I was just like, man, you know, it doesn't mean I have to do that. And I feel like since those years are so like formidable, that's probably explains a lot why. I mean, relationships go both ways, but I definitely feel like the way things were didn't help, because that wasn't far off of when my parents moved away. So, I mean, your teen years from like, you know, like middle school, and then they moved away like right when she graduated. So, or right when her senior year. So so like it's you know, there really wasn't much time. Like that was a weird time, because that time is like very much like your teenage time where you don't want to see anybody in your family, and you're just like, oh, I go home and I just sleep all day. It's that weird phase all teenagers go through, you know. But it just sucked because I feel like it was ill-timed, because once you move out of the house kind of, or like your parents move away and that's where your family goes, like unless you're calling them every day, you're really not going to be seeing or spending time with your siblings anymore. And we've had our tiffs here and there through the years, but which hasn't helped at all. But overall, it's, you know, it's just been a bad timing thing, I think, as well. Like, you know, I was high school, she was going through high school, and like we didn't want to hang out. And then we kind of developed like this like rivalry, I think, more. And I'm just saying, I think I could have done more. You know, I think I could have been a little more supportive and a little less
empathetic or something.
Yeah, and a little less like annoying about it. But that's kind of how kids are too, you know. They just do dumb shit because they think it's what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna go back and forth. That's my number one. So I think I could definitely been a better brother.
Interesting. Well, my number one of things I could wish I can go back and do something differently was my schooling. You know, I wish I would have taken high school a little bit more serious. Not go to continuation school. Not saying that continuation school is a bad thing. But I wish I was just taking high school a little bit more serious. I wish I would have taken college my first couple of years more serious. All of that, like, I wish I can go back and change it. By all means, I have no regrets, because if it wasn't for everything that happened in high school and then in college, I wouldn't be here where I am right now. I wouldn't be doing the career I'm doing right now. I wouldn't met people I know now. So in a way, it's, everything happens for a reason, and everything happens the way it's supposed to be, and the way it's, and you can't change the past. You have to just look in you have to move forward. But like, I go back and I'm like, man, I wish I would have, like, just high school. If I would have taken high school more serious, and not even like, not giving up, like, I could have still done like friends and stuff like that, but like, do my homework, actually pay attention, not try to be like the funny, oh, look at me, look how dumb, how goofy I am. If we really, really would have taken the time and effort, like, I demand now my students to take time and effort into it. I think my life would have been different. Same thing with like college, the first couple of years, instead of like, oh, I'm gonna take a semester off, or like, oh, I'm just gonna drop that class, it doesn't matter, blah, blah. Like, I could have saved myself thousands of dollars before, $1,000 from schooling, but also would have been able to kickstart my career, whatever my career, because I don't think it would have been teaching, probably would have been something else way earlier. Again, that's kind of like where would, like, it's all scenarios, and of course I want to know where I'll be. We probably wouldn't be in the situation right here, right now.
Yeah.
So in a way, like, I wish I would have done something differently, but at the same time, I'm not upset how my life played out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think we're in the same boat.
Yeah.
And kind of and to agree with what you were saying too, is like, I feel like I wish I would have laid the groundwork better in my 20s.
Yeah.
Like you said, like, saving that thousands of dollars snowballs, into a decade later, and I think it's like, even though I went to college and graduated, I wish also I would have taken high school more serious. Like, I don't regret the social aspects and enjoyment I had, but I could have done better in school. And then I wish I just would have had more direction and follow through. Like,
yeah,
I wish I would have went to Expression earlier than I did. Like, I went when I needed to go.
Yeah.
But I wish I would have went earlier, because it would have forced me to just be better and not like be an alcoholic for 3 years.
Yeah.
Which still, once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. But I'm a manageable alcoholic. Like, I can have a drink once a week. So I'm not an alcoholic really, but I do have a taste for it. So I know, that's why I know it's there. But instead of gathering my drinking skills, I could have sharpened the pencil a little more. So I agree, and it would have put me, and it's hard because it's all about timing, right? And it's like, you meet the people in your life when you're supposed to meet them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the way you wrapped it up was perfect, man. It's like, you're not upset with it. You're just like, I wish I would have maybe done things to make my life a little easier.
Yeah, I like that.
But like, you're on the right path, and as we've gotten older, we've realized that, which is so much more reassuring, because I feel like we're growing up, we're always like, got to stay on the path. It's like, you are always on the path. Your shit's just got a fucking weird, or direction.
Your path that you're supposed to be in maybe isn't the same that you think you're in your head. Your
right,
path
it isn't a straight line.
Yeah,
I like. It looks more like a Richter scale. Mine definitely looks more like a Richter scale. As and not to be a cocky little son of a bitch, as do a lot of people's, right? I'm not alone here.
Yeah, absolutely.
When I was 16, I wish I wouldn't have forced that poo out of a Warped Tour porta potty so hard, because I'm still reaping the benefits of that Hemi, man. I was dealing with a hemorrhoid at an age where only the chola pregnant girls at the high school probably could understand my pain. It was a little small support group. We didn't have a lot of support. No, but It was to know what that was at that age was not only it sucked because at the time I'm gonna explain a lot of shit. I'm gonna throw some people under the bus in this story. At the time, Carla, who was Ryan's girlfriend, God, she was fun. She wanted to take a picture of it, and it's not like I fought her. So, of course, what do? I spread my ass cheeks, and this had to have been in Ryan's old house because it was before he moved to where he is now.
Yeah.
So, we're over there. I think it's like, this is obviously after Warped Tour, but like we get back, and I'm like, dude, it fucking hurts. And they're like, well, let me see, what does it look like? Because I literally I haven't shown a single person. I don't even think I told my parents about it. I was just kind of riding it out, hoping it would go away. Dude, it looked like a black. It looked like a black eye from a cartoon when they get punched in the face.
Oh wow.
Yeah, dude, it was so bad. Like it looked like trauma. And so anyway, I spread my cheeks, and Carla takes a picture of it. And I'm sure you remember the meme before a meme of you've been cursed by Ryan Cooper's hemorrhoid.
Oh God, yeah,
dude, she used my whole fucking name. That bitch. But you know what? Good one. That was funny. No, but she used my whole fucking name, and it was hilarious. I'm not mad at her for it, but God, how many people would photograph an asshole that willingly?
Yeah, and not only that,
she was in a small demographic,
and also for no money. You could
also me. Let's not make me seem like a helpless victim. I was pretty willing and able to just show my asshole. Like
you did not even file. You're like, okay, yeah.
I'm the problem here. I'm the one who forced the poo out. No, but yeah, I wish I made a better choice when I was 16.
But that's an understatement right there.
I could have definitely gone a few more years. I mean, I ruined my chances for porn, which was terrible. I couldn't do gay for pay. I tell you, man, I already got the balloon. Like they don't want me.
No,
it's over. They're like, we don't want that.
Well, you never know. Kinks.
That's true.
My number 2, sir, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Your
number 2 after my number 2.
Aha. I wish I would have better managed my money. When I was 22, 23, I got age of 22, I got a pretty solid job at Comcast, the local cable company over here. And I was working at their call center, their offices, and I was making way more money that they should have given a poor 22-year-old money.
Oh yeah, good for you.
But of course, I didn't have a sense of saving or anything like that, and credit scores and shit. So I was just blowing money like it was going out of style, putting shit on credit like it's going out of style, because it was like this ongoing money pit,
And you were the financier of a few passion projects at a young age as well.
Yeah,
they weren't always your passion.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you just didn't think about it that much. But as a result of not having that money management skill or managing my money or thinking about anything, I was living paycheck to paycheck. Credit debt was fucking super high. And then essentially the party ended like always. And I was stuck with this huge debt, which I couldn't pay. So my credit score went to shit. I'm just barely now, dude, recovering from that. Saving just barely. I can say I can do that now, but I wish I would have been able to manage my money a little bit better. Listen to my parents. My dad used to tell me all the time, hey, save your money. Don't spend it so much. They're like, yeah, it's your money to spend, but be more conscious about it. And of course I'm like, yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, yeah,
you're like, no, I'm supporting the economy.
I blew so much money and I had nothing to show for.
Yeah.
And I think that was the biggest thing. I didn't have a fucking car to show. I mean, I had a car, but it wasn't a new car.
Well, and we didn't prioritize maintaining the car.
Yeah. I could have gone on trips. I never went on I with the money I blew, I could have gone travel the world and see all this shit. I had nothing to show for. So I'm like, I wish again, just like what we've been saying, I don't regret what I did because it was a life lesson. I came out stronger. I'm better of it now. But I wish I would have been more conscious about it. Again, my life would have been maybe a little bit much easier now. This is around early 2000s, 2003, 2004, 5, 6, whatever.
Okay.
Before the teens. If I would have, again, with number one, with my school, my money management, that's around the time the whole housing crisis happened.
Like 2008.
Again. Yeah. I could have easily saved money, had good credit and whatever, and buy a home,
right?
Buy a condo.
But that's you, to give you some fairness. That's you looking 13 years into the past.
Yeah,
it's always easy to do that.
Yeah,
and I think that's what we got to also remind ourselves of right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is, this is an interesting episode because we're focusing on the things we want to change, but we also are also focusing on being appreciative in the present.
Yeah.
So it's a battle, right? It's a yin yang. It's constantly, and that's life.
Yeah.
We're constantly dealing with the ups and downs, and that's managing stress, right? We have to manage our stress. We have to use it to motivate us, but we also have to internalize and understand that we are following, the process. Kind of like what you said, respect the process of what you're doing. That's the problem is learning from our mistakes, but not obsessing about them.
Yeah.
And I obsess about my mistakes.
We all obsess on it. And, no regrets. It is what it is. We can't change the past. We just got to learn from it.
Yeah.
And make sure you repeat it. But, you are right. I'm looking now, 13, 14, 15 years ago, in the past. There's no way I would have, no way I could have predicted the things. Every now and then I look up oh man, if I would have bought Bitcoin when they told me in 2002, 2003, when it was $1 for $1 Bitcoin, and I was like, this is dumb.
I had a buddy telling me, shout out to Darren. I had a buddy telling me about Bitcoin 5 years ago.
Uh-huh.
He wasn't saying buy it, but he was saying, I'm looking into it, and he kind of respectfully and unsalesly recommended me to maybe get some.
Yeah.
I didn't really look into it at all. And that's the thing. I knew he wasn't full of shit because he's one of those guys where I believe what he says. He's a genuine guy, and he's a successful guy. That's such a fucking annoying word sometimes.
Successful?
Yeah.
Successful.
Successful. He's a successful dude, and it's guys like that where you're just okay, it worked for you, but is it gonna work for me? And that's always what I'm thinking. But it's but stop with that. That's so toxic. We can't be why aren't we good enough? We are good enough. Stop being stupid. You're manifesting that bullshit. I'm saying you I'm better. I'm not. I'm talking to myself. I do this.
You're the man in the mirror right now, homie.
That's a good song. He took me out of it, dude. I'll bring me back. No. Dude, that is I love Man in the Mirror.
Yeah.
Human Nature and Man in the Mirror. Probably my two 90s favorite Michael Jackson songs.
Oh, 100%. Michael Jackson. We're going to have to do an episode of Michael Jackson because that dude was a beast.
Yeah, he was.
In a good way.
Sometimes. So, oh, God. I refuse to watch the documentary because I already know what happened, and I just don't need to live through that.
Listen, I refuse it because Michael's not there to none of the Jackson family is there to rebuttal or anything.
Yeah, but the fact there hasn't been any kind of rebuttal is a sign too. Here's the thing. Before we get into it, I believe all that shit happened. But here's the thing. I believe there's a way more fucking pedophiles out there than people want to admit. And I don't think it's fair that we only focus on Michael Jackson because
it's a bit weird.
I'm going to tell you right now, guys, put your tin hats on. Hollywood is full of motherfucking pedophiles. Hey. And you're going to see and hear about some people that you like and look up to, and guess what? Guilty as fuck.
Hey.
So just take that pill.
Hey.
What?
Eyes wide shut.
Oh, yeah.
Eyes wide shut.
That's what I mean.
That's what
it's not just a Stanley Kubrick movie, and then people are like, yeah, we also directed The Shining. Do you believe that? Yes.
Yeah.
I fucking do, okay?
Yes.
You fucking dick. Don't question my reality.
Hey, what is
I question my reality.
Every fucking episode, we always bring it back to conspiracy theory.
But the whole world is a conspiracy, and I'm here to milk it. What? That's weird.
We're gonna have to. That's gonna be an episode, dude. We have
Things
to do
I
an
regret.
episode, dude.
The last 3 minutes of what I just said.
Number 3.
Number 3. Everything I just said. I take it back. So when I was probably like 12 years old, I did catechism on Wednesdays, which is what I did leading up to my communion. Because I was raised Catholic, believe it or not. You probably believe it because I swear like a sailor and I have poor ethics.
Me too. I was raised Catholic too.
And I have a lot of guilt, so I'm obviously Catholic. So when I was at catechism, I got bullied a lot, and a lot of the times between the ages of like 10 and like 12, pretty much, I got mocked a lot. But the kids would kind of always make fun of my mom because she was overweight. And they were brutal, man. Like I said, this was like I just moved to the east side, so these Mexican kids, they're by the way,
fucking brutal, dude.
I'm just gonna say this too. Mexican kids, most of the time, stereotype, chubby mom, at the very least. You know? So it was odd that all the bullies that were Latino, I shouldn't just say Mexican, maybe they're Puerto Rican.
There's
Highly
no
doubtful.
Puerto Ricans in
No,
East San Jose.
hardly any, yeah.
Salvadorans,
Not even
Guatemalans,
Cubans.
Hondurans.
Yeah. But it was just, the demographic doesn't matter. But it was just more or less kids being kids, and it was brutal. But there was a specific time where, so catechism was interesting because to paint a picture of what it is, it's basically church school leading up to your communion. So they're teaching you a lot of history about the Bible and stuff that you're basically going to be like presenting for the communion, blah, blah, blah. The thing is as you all know, Catholic school and just Catholic school programs doesn't bring in good people. It brings in everybody.
Yeah.
Most of the time, shitty people. And a lot of the people that bullied me in my middle school and elementary school were in that class, so that sucked. Guess what? They were all girls. The girls I went to school with that got bullied were fucking mean, dude.
Wow.
And yeah, I remember the girls more than I remember the guys being bullies. And I wish there was this time where my mom was like walking around the church, I guess, and she was like exploring, and then she was just walking by the classroom and she like waved hi to me. And I was like, you know how kids get embarrassed? But like I felt bad because those girls were like kind of like being loud. I'm like, oh my God, is that Ryan's mom? Like, ha ha ha. And you know, I was more embarrassed than I was mad that they were being little cunts.
Yeah.
And that's what I regret is
letting that affect you, or what?
I regret not letting it affect me. I regret projecting my insecurities onto my mom because to add more to that story, she noticed why I didn't want to talk to her. So then later on, she was really fucking depressed. And it was like this whole thing. And it's one of my most vivid memories of my childhood because it's the time where you upset/disappoint someone.
Yeah.
And you just never forget that. But just knowing the reason my mom was upset was because I was ashamed of her weight, like made me feel like the biggest piece of shit in the world.
Yeah. And
it like gave me perspective because it's like, I'm not ashamed of you. I'm just tired of being bullied. And I was embarrassed, but it's like when you're a kid, you don't know how to deal with and overcome the bully shit.
That,
and you don't know how to feel confident with what you're dealing or with who you are. And, and that's why I think when I changed high schools, it was a good thing for me because I was able to like have a fresh start. I didn't deal with bullies at all in high school. Like I had a couple times I got in some fights, but I really didn't deal with bullying. I had no one ever talk shit about my mom. And it wasn't even, so then it's like, I don't even know whether it was an age thing or just the pure fact that those people are just pieces of shit. And it's definitely that they're pieces of shit. But, the mistake I made was letting bullies or someone try and twist my perspective on reality. Like I should have told those little fucking, and that's the thing that sucks. Like you're in a church. What are you going to tell them to go fuck off?
Yeah.
So it was like, that was kind of the hard thing. And, I just wish I didn't put myself first in that situation.
Yeah.
That was one of my biggest regrets for myself.
But you were a kid, bro. Like,
but I wasn't that young. I was conscious.
Still young,
I was consciously aware that it was wrong.
Yeah.
And it's not like I was 8. I could have handled it better. Because and here's the thing, karma wise, I know that's coming back to me. I know that's going to happen. So it's what I got to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a time where one of the boys is embarrassed by me and they're going to say something and it's going to make me sad and I got to fucking just deal with it.
Yeah.
Because that's life telling you, hey, dickhead, remember that time, So it's like,
Wow. Yeah.
it's coming back. But yeah, no, I mean, like you said,
Yeah,
I don't stay awake at night about it, but like this is about reflection. This is about pointing out some shortcomings and how we feel and how we've moved on past those points in our lives. And that's the important aspect about this. It's not to wallow in self-pity, but it's to admit and move forward,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's me admitting and moving forward on my number 3.
That's pretty deep, dude.
Yeah, it's a little, I know. It is.
No, that's so good. Thank you for sharing that, dude.
Yeah.
I really think that's very, for lack of better words, that's very brave of you to share. So thank you, bro.
Well, I appreciate the verbiage. And I do know you mean it.
Yeah.
But part of this is why we do this, man.
Yeah.
It's not to make money. It's to just
Reflect.
Therapy, man.
Yeah.
It's our therapy. We talk about stuff not on the air, with each other, and that's our therapy. And this is part of it too. But this is why we're doing this project, because me and you have things that we can't talk to everyone else about, and and there's shit that we just got to get off our chest that. Like what we were talking about before the podcast. Like you need to talk about that stuff so you can think, so you can move past it, so you can deal with things, and just so much noise sometimes, so you gotta have that space to let it out. And
what we learn is that by holding it in, we're just really hurting ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's kind of great segue. This is my third one also. I wish I would have done differently. Is I wish I would have taken mental health help sooner.
Yeah.
Not in my fucking mid-30s like I did. In my mid-20s when I probably really needed it also. When I was consuming alcohol, and I was doing that instead rather than facing my insecurities or facing issues that I was angry by myself with. And, we grew up in a society, and we're both males, so of course we have this
for now.
so they think. Where we have we have this social norms and roles that we're supposed to fall into, and we disguise our true feelings with this mask, and it's just it's just so dumb. I wish I would have taken, stress classes earlier. Taking meditation classes earlier, talk to psychologists earlier, go to therapy, look into self-help, and gone on walks when I was younger just to be in a better mental health. I'm in a mental state. I'm not saying I'm 100% cured, because what I've learned in this journey is that depression, anxiety, and stress and all that stuff, it never goes away. You just learn how to live with it, and you know how to control it and not let it consume you. Because I still fucking freak out. I still have panic attacks. I still have all of that shit. But you just know how to cope with it healthier now.
Yeah.
And I wish I would have done that earlier, just for my own sanity, But regardless, if you decide to take your first step for better life today or tomorrow, you start taking it 10 years ago, I think the most important step is acknowledging it and taking that first step. That is so fucking scary.
Yeah.
But I think once you're in it and once you're embraced on it, I think is very beneficial. So that's one thing I wish I would have done differently. Wish I would have taken it sooner. Wish I would have, done that rather than let it consume me and let my insecurities almost freaking make me believe other things.
Yeah. The worst.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all very useful, because and like what you just said, it's I'm going to be 34 and mid-30s, and it's could have used it 10 years ago, because it would have been more of an instilled habit at this point.
Yeah.
And we could have just, but it's okay. Look, it's better late than never. And I don't even know if it's late. I don't think it's ever too late, right? Mm-hmm. So, but in other words, it's better now than never, right?
Yeah.
And I agree with that. I think we're not too old. Even if, let's just say, God forbid, we're midlife, which is dark, but
yeah,
just say, God forbid, it's midlife. It's still not too late. that means we have 30 something more years to fucking live life better than the first 30 that we lived our lives. And I think that's what being an adult is living that last half better than the first half, right?
Yeah, and even the first half you can't really compare because our lives weren't that. I mean, they were simple up until like the age of 15, maybe up to 20,
because we were simple-minded.
Yeah, but like for us, real life, quote unquote, real life didn't really hit until like our 20s. So it's been the last 15.
Yeah, because you're still living in
years.
that. Even if you're on your own and you're 18, you're living in that fantasy bubble of I'm 18.
Yeah.
And like you said, you're just blowing money. Because it's like, who the fuck's going to tell you to save money?
I had this conversation a long time ago with my friend Terrence, because he was talking about his, money management, after high school. And I'm like, dude, it's really stupid of these finance companies, dude. Like, how the fuck are you gonna give an 18-year-old, 19-year-old kid who grew up poor and never had money? How are you gonna give him a credit card?
It's ethically stupid.
Yeah,
financially, it's genius.
Oh no, absolutely, it's a fucking loop. It's modern slaverism, if you will. But how are you gonna give somebody who never had anything power to buy anything they want and tell them, oh, you can pay me back in installments?
Yeah.
Like, of course you're not going to be.
But see, here's the thing. And like what you're saying isn't wrong, but my problem isn't with them. My problem is if we know that that's how they do things, why aren't we educating our kids? Why aren't we educating our people to be better with their money, to be more aware of credit stuff like you just said? Like, if we know they're fucking us over, then why aren't we fucking ready for it?
Because our school systems or those who write what we need to teach our kids, our curriculum, tells us to tell our kids that's not important. And it's mostly for those lower income students, not to teach them that information, because then you're going to do the same mistakes. And it's for them, it's capitalism.
I don't even think it's just lower income to the point where, but I don't even think, because I know what you're saying, but I don't even think they're learning that in private high schools. Maybe they are, but either way, like, I feel like there's kids that aren't necessarily less fortunate that could be like middle class, like level, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like how I was growing up. I was kind of middle class. I wasn't technically poor.
Yeah.
But I was going to the same school. We just didn't have those classes.
Yeah.
Like,
no.
we didn't even have, we had an economics class, which is good. They should have had that. I enjoyed it. But we didn't really go into depth with it. We should have done like stocks. We should have learned about APR and like interest.
Different types of loans.
There should be a whole class on interest.
Oh, different types of loans, like those,
or like exactly
those paycheck loans were like, oh, we'll lend you $300.
Basically, spend 6 weeks telling us to never do payday advances.
Yes, that's the one financial tip I can honestly tell you. Don't do that. Don't put your fucking car lease or your car title for fucking money. Like, don't do it. There's other ways.
Dude. Look at the interest payment you're gonna make. Like, oh, you put $0 down. Yeah, and then guess what? After 6 months, you're gonna be paying up the ass.
Yeah,
so
don't do it.
Yeah, like once again, I blame our society for not. And you know what? Okay, so it's two problems. It's society, which is schooling, but then it's also family, like parents. Why aren't you teaching your fucking kid how to be better with their money?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's your failure as well, parents.
Thanks, Dad and Mom.
Can't just blame Danny and his teacher friends, okay? Can't just blame them.
The schools.
It's you, too.
You're
part of the fucking problem.
No, I feel you, dude. And it sucks. Like, it absolutely sucks, like, living in that situation and, like, all that stuff. So, absolutely, that's a Pokemon Go over here. I absolutely get that, dude.
Better catch that fucking Snorlax, dude. It's not even a Snorlax.
But no, dude, I feel like we need to focus. We need to train our children better. And like me as an educator, I'll point the finger at like, oh no, well it's the parents, they need to do that. But the school also has to do that. The school has to pay a little bit. Has to.
Well, look, if you're gonna use the funding, use it properly.
Yeah,
it's like curriculums are gonna change every 20 years. That's not hard to understand. History books change every 20 years.
Not even,
so guess what? Or even more. But that's what I mean. Like, you have to be current, and that means with society, what is their society heading towards? A digital currency. This should be shit they're teaching them now. Like, I know it's being written as it's going, but if it's important for their success, then that's what they should be learning. And I know I'm going to be saying this with my kids in high school because I doubt it's going to be better than either. So we'll see.
I was going to say, just remember what Dave Chappelle said. Modern problems require modern solutions.
I know. And I still don't know what to do. Like, what does that mean? That gives me a lot of options.
Chappelle show. That's all I know.
All right.
All right. 5 dinners? Dinner for schmucks?
Now it's time for our dinner segment, which is going to be Dinner for 5.
I like it.
I hope you brought your list. I hope your guest list is as illustrious as mine, Danny.
It's very random.
Mine is also pretty random.
But you know what?
Yours is fucking random. Holy shit. I love the second half of your list so much more than the first. Danny has half evil people on his list. That's awesome. All right.
Shit.
We kind of covered the same type of thing where it's a Voltron of conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking we'll just go list. We'll go one list and then another list.
And just a quick, why?
Yeah, I feel like you should go first.
Okay. You just want to hear why. Okay. Number 1, in no particular order, the first person I put was Queen Elizabeth. I would like to have a dinner with the Queen for the simple fact that she's fucking old as fuck and she's seen some shit. She's not going to freaking she's not going to spill the tea, which I get it. But
she's also so old, so she probably could get away with accidentally telling you a secret.
Nice. Yeah.
She could pretend she didn't do it or
yeah.
But then she'd be like, it's not really this.
Imagine going shooting with her.
I wouldn't want to be behind her. I mean, in front of her.
Yeah, absolutely. Side to side. No.
I don't know why I said that.
But
behind her.
I would love to have dinner with Queen Elizabeth just because, historical figure. She's old as hell. And
that'd be a hell of a spread, too.
Hey, oh, yeah. The food must be.
You definitely would have to eat there. You wouldn't want her to come to eat with you.
Oh, no, I'm going to.
You'd be like, this isn't going to hold up to any kind of
I'm going to the
standard you have.
I'm going to the fucking Buckingham Palace and shit.
Yeah, she's going to fucking. I want spotted dick.
Hell yeah. The best spotted dick.
I'm going to tell her that. I'll be like, I just want some spotted dick. I don't even want to eat it. I just want to order it.
I just want to see it.
I want to order it in front of a lady.
And not laugh. And try not to laugh. So
hey, Queen, check out my spotted dick.
It looks good, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's a little undercooked to you.
Number
pink.
Number two, former President George W. Bush.
Dude, hold on. I got a question.
Okay.
Oh, I should let you explain before I ask my question.
No, ask the question.
No. Elaborate first. Elaborate first.
That dude was a fucking wild guy in college, dude. I would love. I don't agree with his politics or how he handles certain things. Sure, but you know what I will love? I will love to just have a beer with him and just tell me your fucking college stories, George W. Tell me your college story. I want to just.
That is a great answer, and I'm glad I held my tongue because I was going to take it political. I was going to be like, if your 15-year-old self heard you say that.
Yeah.
He would kick you in the nuts.
Oh, I fucking hate myself.
Yeah, because, dude, not that I like George Bush, but my family was somewhat Republican when I was growing up, and I remember I got some shit because my grandpa's Republican, and I think Ryan was like, oh, they're Republicans, and whatever. It doesn't matter. But anyway, it's just, like you said, you're like, I don't agree with his politics. I'm like, I did not see that one at all. That is definitely the oddball on your list, 100%.
Okay.
But not because I was stereotyping you.
Mm-hmm.
But when you explained that it was obviously, but who would want to visit with him about his policy and his politics? No one's going to fucking do that. So I'm like, I should have known better because that makes total sense because like you just said, I mean, he's probably got skull and bones stories.
Oh, fuck yeah.
You can ask him about the weird kinky shit they did.
Oh, I would love to have a beer with him because George W. seems like a man who loves a good beer.
You're all, look. You're all, hey.
Jeans and the t-shirt.
Hey, George. Cover the wire. You're like, 9/11 was bullshit, right?
Hey, hey, George, hey, George, we're friends here. We're friends. It was an inside job, huh?
Tower 7? Huh? Any comments?
Just tell me. Okay, listen. Look around this shit.
He's doing hand signals like baseball.
Hey. If it's an inside job, just wave your hand over the beer.
He's all.
Oh my god!
He grabs his ear. You're like,
just give me a sign. I'll be like this. Give me a sign. Just give me a sign. Was that the sign? Was that the sign?
I'm dying. That's
I
awesome.
would love that. George W.
Dude.
And you know, a lot of people are like, how come George W. not like, what's his face?
You
Obama
picked two very
or something.
wealthy landowners, I might say.
I did. And they're like, why not like Obama? Like, I feel like Obama will make fun of me. Obama will be like, you know, he'll hate on me.
Why are you saying that? Because he's black?
No, he's just too cool. Obama's way too cool.
Because he's black?
No, he's fucking cool as fuck.
No, he probably is the most hip president we've ever had.
That's true.
Next to JFK, maybe?
Maybe Clinton?
True. Because he was technically considered a cool president, right?
Until you got a really cool one.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Until he got really
Real cool.
respected by the real morally enforced people in the country. Man, that poor woman, she had no chance.
Oh, God. Sucks for her. Number 3.
I hope she took the whole thing in the mouth. What?
Huh?
Might as
Number
well.
3.
Number 3.
East Bay native, Tom Hanks. He's one of my favorite actors. Great dude. I like to have dinner with him. He seems like a nice guy.
He's done a lot of cool movies, you know?
Yeah.
And like, that's the thing that's cool about this is Tom Hanks, I mean, he's been someone he's been a constant in our lives. Like I grew up with Forrest Gump. I grew up with League of Their Own, Big.
Fucking Toy Story.
I mean, you got the Toy Story movies. You got the movies he did in the 80s, like Bachelor Party and
Splash.
What was it called? The Comedian, I think, was Sally Field.
Remember he did
No, Punchline was Sally Field.
Turn and Hooch.
He did the movie Dragnet with Dan Aykroyd. That was a fun one. It was stupid, but it was fun.
That Thing You Do.
Yeah, with Steve Zahn and what's his name? A bunch of other people. But yeah, dude. I mean, yeah. The stories, dude.
Yeah.
Like Humble Beginnings. That's always kind of the fun thing. So the two first people on your list definitely didn't have Humble Beginnings.
No.
But you don't always want Humble Beginnings at a dinner table.
No.
You want some action.
Yeah, I want some tea.
Yeah, you want a little privilege.
Number 4, this is the musician in me, Paul McCartney, and I put in quotations, real or fake. I don't care if it's at this point, I don't care if it's the real Paul McCartney or it's the fake conspiracy theory. But
You'll just tell me you were the guy who did Jet, right?
Please,
were you at least that guy?
Nah. You wrote Band on the Run, didn't you?
Yeah.
All right. Because you understand Band on the Run is like 3 different songs put together.
That's true. That is a very dynamic song.
It's super. It's like a huge build. Like the way Band on the Run starts is not how it ends.
Doesn't the guitar, and maybe I'm misinformed by saying this, doesn't the guitar, the way it starts, remind you a lot of George Harrison, kind of?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like he played like that a lot. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, great.
Maybe that was
song.
Paul playing like that. Because Paul wrote a lot.
Yeah, or was it?
Or was it fake Paul? I love that you wrote real,
real
or
or fake. I don't care. I'll take that Paul. I want the person who goes by Paul McCartney to have dinner with me.
Real or, here's the thing. Even if it's fake Paul, he's the one that was with the Beatles for more time than the real Paul.
That's true.
Because no one's going to give a shit about them playing Liverpool bars. You want to know about fucking like the sold out shows.
Oh, yeah.
The movies they did.
Fucking Sgt. Pepper. Fucking.
Yeah. And that was already fake Paul,
Yeah,
right?
that was fake already.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So you almost want fake.
At this point, I want fake Paul.
You're like, dude, don't tell me about all that other bullshit.
Hey, and you know I'm going to pull the freaking.
Fake Paul knows what's up.
And you know I'm going to pull the freaking. What's his face? Fuck, what's his name? Chris Farley question. Hey, Paul. Remember when you died? Is that true?
That really would work.
That would be awesome. All right.
When did you decide to turn into Angela Lansbury?
When did the fake Paul happen? Last but not least, because he looks like he's the person.
Definitely
he's a people's
not
person.
least.
No. He looks like a people person all around the Texas badass, the Texas rattlesnake. Stone Cold Steve Austin. I will love to have a beer with that. Break the glass. Oh, if that dude needs to walk into the into anywhere without that theme song playing, I don't want it.
Honestly, I'll break the glass myself.
I will blade. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It'll be a Jewish wedding without the napkin.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mazel, mazel, motherfuckers.
That's my top 5.
I liked it. It was a strong 5.
Thank you.
Definitely top was the right word because you definitely made up for 2 of your people on the list single-handedly make more money than anyone on my list. So good job.
Thank you.
All right. No specific order. George Carlin. he's pretty much the mecca of stand-up.
Yeah.
I mean, him prior, but Carlin, I got hip to first. I enjoy his take on life. He kind of changed it up halfway through his life, like everyone does. And he got a lot more like insightful and philosophical, I guess you could say, with a lot of the shit that was going on. Very anti-government. Not in a sense where it's anarchy, but in a sense where fuck the Republicans, fuck the Democrats. And that's very much who I am now. So I enjoy his fair, unbiased take on life. I enjoy just his realness. And I think it would be a really, really fun. And once again, I mean, he came up when like Lenny Bruce was doing stand-up. I mean, he was doing it like when it was really fucking frowned upon and not so popular.
Yeah.
So it would be great to talk to someone who help lay the fucking railroad tracks for everyone else.
One of the pioneers, if you will.
Dude, and he's just one of those people that made, like, when I was growing up, cussing was so frowned upon. My family, like, said it was bad and all this shit. And he was always there, that just reminding me that you're not uneducated if you cuss.
Well, he did the whole thing. One of his most famous spill was the F word. Like,
well, yeah, I mean,
fuck.
I mean, 5 famous words you can't see on TV. Blink-182 covered it live.
Yeah.
Shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, tits, shit, fart, turd, and twat. There you go. Words you can't say on TV. Thanks, George Carlin. And shout out to Blink-182. I believe that was off of the Mark, Tom, and Travis show.
Great B-side, live-only song.
I love that live album. If you're a Blink-182 fan, check it out.
Oh, fucking amazing album. And then I love at the end they put all the fucking like random jokes and shit.
Oh, you mean in the liner notes?
Yeah, no, not in the liner jokes, but like they have the album.
Like the talking, like the talking points in between. Yeah. That's the gold. Because it's like if you have that record on CD, it was like a 30-track record
track or something. Yeah,
dude. Listening to those tracks, countless times, I think in 8th grade, I was crying myself to sleep.
Oh, they're freaking ridiculous.
So fucking funny.
Like when they do the whole Satan bit, like,
hey,
yeah.
He's like, hey, Mark. Or something. I forgot who was doing it. I think Mark was doing the voice.
One of those.
It was funny, though. Yeah. I always love those guys. Those are so funny. Next, let me get rid of my emphysema. Next is the RZA. None other than the RZA. I know. And I picked this guy because also music nerd, music aficionado, just overall musical genius with sampling, with putting together a team of guys, producing a team of guys, putting together a movement and a cultural phenomenon known as the Wu-Tang Clan, and just helping support and be the backbone for 90s hip-hop and paving the way for today. His nerdy love for comics and kung fu movies and all the Shogun Assassin movies, and I just love nerdy stuff, and I like seeing people that are creatively successful, like showing you that it's okay to do what you like to do.
Yeah,
you know, and the RZA is a prime example of someone who's living their life by their means and doing it the way they want to do it, and I fucking love that. And he's always going to be. The Wu-Tang was one of the few groups that really got me into rap.
Yeah, they're just so. Very diverse group.
Yes, and I will always have a blind loyalty for the Wu-Tang Clan. I kind of more East Coast loyalty than I do West Coast when it comes to my hip hop, and it's crazy to say. And I love my LA. I love Nipsey Hussle. I love Kendrick. I love Dr. Dre, Snoop. But it's just something about that New York grind that just gets me, man. Like Mobb Deep and Biggie, and I don't know, dude.
Most Def and like.
Just so much good shit. New York was just tough, dude.
Yeah.
I think Talib was from Philly, wasn't he?
It's still East Coast.
But that's true. You're right. It is East Coast. I'm tripping.
But yeah, like, I agree. I always saw, because I was more of a Biggie fan than a Tupac. Not to like disrespect Tupac or anything, but I was always more of a Biggie fan.
Yeah.
So yeah, East Coast was always like my thing with like Jay-Z and
even Kanye.
Black Star, Kanye. Yeah. And
then, Black Star was good.
And then of course
Onyx was cool.
And then of course like you bring down like the South, and that's just a completely different freaking game out there.
Oh, dude. 3-6, fucking
Outkast,
Scarface,
fucking
UGK,
Master P,
Outkast.
Oh, dude.
Man. Damn. Outkast, all the records are good, but their first 3.
Oh.
like even like ATLians or like Southern Playlist Cadillac Music. I have Southern Playlist Cadillac Music on vinyl because Ain't No Thing is a fucking jam. Holy shit.
Aquemini. I think
that one's super good.
Such a fucking good album. Dude.
But I think that's like their fourth, and that one's so, because like the first two are grimy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that one was right before Stankonia, right?
Yeah, it was right before, and I think they had
was the Elevator? Me and You? Is that the one that's on that one?
They had the push that push.
Oh yeah. That's the one that's on that one. Aquanini, I think. Is that
yeah.
Dude, I was always a Big Boy fan as well. Like I thought he was super underrated in that group. Because Andre definitely took the spotlight.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Big Boy, man, they're a package. You need both.
Yeah,
it's like it's not just him.
Yeah, because even when they did that album,
Speaker Box and the Love Below.
Yeah,
Love Below was better.
Yeah,
yeah. Big Boy's was. I agree. Big Boy's album was better. It's just commercial success went all to Andre on the Speaker Box.
I mean, absolutely.
How can you compete with the pop fucking hit Hey Ya?
Oh, dude, phenomenal.
I like that song. I didn't like it at the time because it was overplayed, and I remember my animation teacher at the time was so annoying, and he was like singing it. Yeah, a balding middle-aged white guy singing Hey Ya.
No,
it ruins your life.
It's like
it makes you consider cutting. It really you think about it. Moving along. Dimebag Daryl.
Of course,
I'm not
surprised.
Right? This should be. I told Steph I was doing a top 5. I was doing 5 guests at dinner, and this is one she guessed.
Mm-hmm.
It was her third guess, to be fair. I did surprise her a little.
Oh.
But I'm like, yeah, I Dimebag, of course. Dimebag was a party animal. He also, like the RZA, musical genius with guitar. I mean, basically an aficionado. Like, looked up to guys like Randy Rhoads, Eddie Van Halen, and he was just a musical talent unlike any other.
Mm-hmm.
When he died, Eddie Van Halen gave him, originally he was going to make a guitar for Dime, and it was going to be a replica of the Van Halen 2 guitar, which was the black and yellow guitar. I don't know if anyone really remembers, but Van Halen 2 was the one with the black and yellow Frankenstein Strat, and that was Dime's favorite.
Yeah.
So they were going to make him a replica, but when he died, Eddie Van Halen showed up with the actual Van Halen 2 guitar to put in the casket with him when he was buried.
Nice.
Also, one of his other heroes was Ace Frehley from Kiss. Ace was there and gave him a guitar.
Nice.
But that was just his passing. This is how much that guy meant to people.
Yeah.
Even his heroes. He just was a party animal. I always heard stories like Unearthed said they went on tour with Damage Plan, I think, right before that happened, and they said that Dime was just drinking with all the metalcore guys like Lamb of God, and it just no one could fuck with him. Like, some people could stay up all night, but for the most part, I think the only people that could hang was half of Nickelback.
Of course,
from what we've heard.
Yeah,
and it's just the stories. Every rock star story I've heard about hanging out with the guy was a party. He made you feel like you're a family. It was like, those are the times when you look back to your 20s, and those are the moments you remember when you're drinking.
Absolutely, dude.
When you have that fun, those huggy moments.
Hell yeah.
You're talking about shit. You're a little emotional. You're teetering on the lovey-dovey emotional, but the happiness.
Yeah.
And that's what you want.
That's when your true feelings come out, dude.
So I know there would be a lot of great conversation. I could ask him. I could pick his brain about all his music, metal, and just have a good time.
Just life, yeah.
You know? Next, this one's a little random. Leonardo da Vinci with Google Translate. Because that is so Italian, I can't even, I'm not going to even understand what the fuck he's talking about.
You have to.
Random one, right? You know why I'm going with him? Very innovative. Was chastised from religion because he was kind of using science and defying what the norm was. Yeah. I'm picking a lot of people that are kind of black sheep.
Yeah, and because that's who we relate to the most.
And he was so innovative. I mean, arguably one of the biggest innovative minds of our time as human beings, you know, and it just, to go through his mind, pick his brain with Google Translate, would be amazing, you know, and to just also just ask him, like, politically how he feels about things.
Yeah.
And be like, to just see, like, what the mindset was 400 years ago versus now. I don't know how long ago it was. I'm not that smart. But you know what I mean? Like 300 or 400 years ago, wherever it was when he lived.
I think it was like a couple thousands actually. Or when was
it that much long ago?
No, you're right. About 400 or 500 years.
1,000 was Jesus.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Wow.
Yeah, hold on.
Dude, bro, do you even history, bro?
Thank God we have Google.
Oh, God.
Last but not least, this is why you don't chug coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Last but not least, Patrick Swayze.
Rest in peace, bro.
I had to get an actor on here. I had to get someone I respect. I had to get someone that I wanted to talk to about. I mean, when we were doing the Point Break episode, and I was reading up on the fact that every day after filming, he would choose to electively go skydiving.
Yeah.
And personally drop, and I think more than once a day. And they said that he kind of became a junkie with it. People like that interest the shit out of me. And he was always like, growing up, I mean, he's your mom's crush in the 90s and the 80s. And it was just like, he was that guy. I mean, with Roadhouse and, you know, in that movie Next to Kin with him and Liam Neeson.
Mm-hmm.
He was just the man. I mean, he was in Outsiders.
Fucking Ghost.
Tu Wong Fu, where he was drag queen with John Leguizamo and Wesley Snipes. I don't know if anyone remembers that film.
Donnie Darko,
where he played the pervy teacher.
Yeah.
Dude, it's just, that would be such a killer fucking spread, you know? It just, imagining the conversations and then just thinking the whole time, why the fuck am I here?
Yeah.
Like, I know why you guys are all here, but let's be real. Should I be serving you guys? Like, what am I doing here? Also, Danny, a little surprised. I'm stereotyping your list. It's not fair to judge people. Not a single non-white person.
Yeah.
That's not a knock on you. That's not a knock, because what's saying you need to have dinner with Latin people? What's saying you need to have dinner with Chinese people? My list only has, it's 4 white guys and a black guy.
Yeah.
Not very diverse either.
Yeah. Well,
but it's look, we could have Googled famous people that we resemble, but why do we need to do that? This isn't about race, and it shouldn't be. But I think also it's substance.
I think also, I don't know that much about these people also. I mean, I can go and look up about Queen Elizabeth, but I haven't done that homework.
But it's perspective on things we don't know, right?
Yeah.
And like, just because I'm white doesn't mean I know what George Carlin and Dimebag and Leonardo da Vinci did.
Yeah. No, and it's just kind of like, who would I find more interesting? Like, do I want to hear about, like, I don't know, like, I don't know, I'm trying to think like of a Mexican musician. Like, yeah, maybe Juan Gabriel. Yeah. That would have been like one of the guys I would love to have dinner with, because he was a musical genius. But when I think of musical genius or like people revolutionize, I'm like, oh no, Paul McCartney. I could have said Tom DeLonge, could have said Mark Hoppus.
Yeah, but you know what though? You're thinking like, I'm getting the list of elite.
Yeah.
Guest list. And this is like, that's when and it's never a race thing.
Yeah.
Because then it would be weird and racist.
Yeah.
If we're like, all right, there's not enough, we really got to brown it up.
I mean, I said Stone Cold Steve Austin because that dude was just he was part of everybody's fucking childhood, especially our generation.
I love your list. I think you did a good job.
I love yours, dude.
Explaining
Leonardo
it.
Vinci? Yeah, hell yeah. And Patrick Swayze? Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
He's the man.
And like at first I was looking at your list and I was judging it because, I'm a judgmental little asshole.
We all are.
Of course. But I definitely know how I am. And I'm glad I heard you out instead of being the typical dick where I've just got something to fucking say. You know what? I'm not the only person with thoughts, and I need to just let people be who they are. So I appreciate your list. And I actually respect it more than I did originally because I shut the fuck up and listened to what you had to say.
You're like, wait. You're like, okay, well, this one actually makes more sense now.
See what happens when you just listen, people? It's just better. And that, I think, is the perfect way to end this week's episode.
I think so, too.
Thanks for listening. We will see you guys next week. And please be careful of tsunamis. Go Niners.
Oh, that's true.
Later.